Greetings, folks. Iolair here, coming to you from an asymmetric battle that I had a few days ago in the mighty Bismarck. I wanted to use this match as some backdrop to talk about this new mode, get your thoughts and opinions about what you like about it, what you dislike about the mode, what types of things you would want to see changed if we were to keep this as a permanent fixture in the game or maybe a recurring fixture. You don't need to tell me anything about bots are bad in the game already, or at least in this mode. I already know that that's true. I had some really terrible matches where bots were involved, and the teams that had the bots were invariably overrun very quickly. I will also warn you now that I'm probably going to call these asynchronous battles at least once during the video, so you'll know what I mean when I say it if I do accidentally end up using that term. In any case, let me share my thoughts, or maybe you could pause now and put your thoughts in the comments below before I bias you with my opinions. But I, by and large, have quite enjoyed this mode, and both playing lower and higher tiers. Like I said, when there are bots in the games, they tend to be terrible matches, and the teams with the bots end up getting badly overrun. In fact, I had one match where I was playing lower tier, and the opposing team had only one human player out of the five. Yeah, I think it was five. There was a human player and a Fiji, and I sent him compliments because I kind of felt bad that he was having to put up with that crap and end up being in such a crappy game for him. I mean, again, there's not really much that we get out of it other than, some credits and experience. Although actually in this particular match, I was actually quite surprised how much XP I did get out of the battle. I didn't load much in the way of economic or special signals, but I kind of wish I had based on how things went. In any case, like I said, I've quite enjoyed these matches. When I've played lower tiers and when I played higher tiers, I've seen both teams succeed quite well. And I think the key factors really come down to skill. And while that might seem kind of obvious, what I've generally felt is the this mode sort of amplifies the skill gap, and that probably goes to what I think would probably be the most important thing for wargaming to change or try to address if they were to keep this as a more regular fixture in the game. Because I found that the teams, it didn't matter whether it was low tier or high tier, had the the stronger team in terms of skill level, like situational awareness, positioning, plans of attack, etc. Those teams tended to succeed pretty much invariably. It didn't matter whether, like I said, whether it was low or high. Now, in this particular match, I picked this one because while it looks like right now our team is just kind of raffle stomping the opponents, we've already taken down 3 of their ships. We haven't lost any of ours. They've successfully taken the Alpha Cap and are now trying to challenge Bravo. Things are going to kind of balance out a little bit. And I've definitely seen games sort of change tide, and it looks like one team is definitely going to win, and then things switched. So far I've played probably not quite, I would say probably about 20 games, and I try to split it fairly evenly between low and high tier. And I thought for the lower tier matches, having a lot of longer range torpedo destroyers that could stealth torpedo, generally had more success because they could sort of wolf pack and cross torp into areas to take out the relatively few upper tier opponents. And if you have some long range artillery cruisers like Budionis and Nurembergs and so on that could get themselves into protected positions and constantly just stream HE spam on opponents from, like I said, from protected positions, and then you had allied destroyers that were keeping things spotted, that tended to work pretty well, as we've now just taken down our 4th opponent, and our carrier just got a hit on the Revolutia, and I'm going to finish him off here, taking down their only battleship. Conversely, with upper tier teams, what I found is that brawling battleships, so Massachusetts, Bismarck, Tirpitz, Odin, etc., tended to also do very well because they can get in close. Their secondaries allow them to basically fight 2 opponents at once. And for the German battleships, they don't need IFHE. They can pen everything, including the mid-tier battleships. with their secondaries. And the Massachusetts, you would want to take IFHE so that you could penetrate those 26 millimeter surfaces on the mid-tier battleships and basically guarantee a very high rate of damage, because essentially these games end up being sort of almost DPM races, because the battle is so close quarters. You're constantly fighting with each other. And here I'm going to take down this Guepard pretty quickly, or one of us is, because he's in a crossfire between me and the mass, and he's just not going to survive very quickly. So, but we've now lost our North Carolina. The opponents in the South actually did a better job in terms of securing the cap, and then focusing down one of our capital ships, the North Carolina. And then this Nuremberg and this Graf Spee, if they had positioned in a way that they could regroup with their allies in the South, they could have focused one of us down. Like myself, I'm getting pretty well focused here. I am burning. I am going to avoid those torpedoes. The Graf Spee is clearly sending more torpedoes right now. And my Hydra's going to be up for, it's up for over a minute. So the cruisers could have focused me down fairly quickly, and then that would have started to give them a little more momentum. So like I said, in this game, it felt like this could have still gone either way if the opponents had positioned better. And that's what I have generally found, is that the teams that figured out their positioning and handled their engagements better were able to win the day pretty consistently, even when in the lower tier games, or lower tier teams, I should say. So by and large, the games have been quite enjoyable for me, except, like I said, the ones with the bots, those were terrible. And I think Wargaming right now is just trying to get the player base to try them out. They're trying to determine the appeal of the game to the player base. They're trying to see how viable it is to maybe keep this either as a permanent fixture, or maybe as a maybe a recurring event, and know that if they're going to bring it up again as sort of some sort of special event, that they know they can get players to participate, and it won't just be kind of a dud experience. And also, I think that's also why they're running these for such a short period, of 2 weeks, because they don't want to have this sort of be a lingering thing, and it to lose its novelty and really just not get enough players in the mix. So in any case, this particular match, I'm going to finish off the Nuremberg, and that leaves the Perth and the Geneva. I'm going to avoid the torpedoes here from the Nuremberg. Looks like he only sent one set. I don't know if he was running the Charlie hull, or which has only one set of torpedoes or something. But in any case, in fact, I thought the Charlie hull in the Nuremberg was taken out. But in any case, I'm going to move back down south here. Our Mahad did a really good job staying alive. I thought at this point he should probably just try to go and back cap Alpha, get himself some extra XP. He doesn't need to engage the cruisers, but he is going to elect to do so. He's going to start gunboating the Perth. As I get 4 overpens, that's definitely not going to be a very quick way to take down the cruiser. And then our Shokaku is being smart enough to move north. He is within firing range, obviously, of the cruisers, but they don't have the DPM or alpha strike power to take him out very easily. And the Shokaku is a pretty quick ship, so he's not really at any risk of being run down or torpedoed or anything like that. So we're going to wrap up this game fairly quickly. In fact, unfortunately for this match, I don't have the post-match results, but as I recall, I earned almost 2,400 base XP, which was much more than I would have expected for a match like this. I didn't cap anything. I did take out quite a few opponents. Got some decent damage in for dealing with low tier ships. But for me, it was a lot of fun. I liked going full German, as my colleague Lynn Wilkie said. And that's what I kind of did when I played in the upper tiers with the Bismarck, is I basically just plowed in and just roughed up the flank, because that's what the Bismarck is very good at doing. And again, I think the Massachusetts The Odin and the Tirpitz have that capability as well. So I'm going to put the Spank on this Genova, and their carrier's going to finish them off, and that's going to wrap up the game. So I hope you found the commentary and the input here interesting. Please, again, do leave your comments and thoughts below. And as always, we hope to see you out there in the virtual seas, and we wish you happy sailing.